Hey guys, welcome back to Naturally Paige for another Mama Mondays. If you have watched my last Mama Mondays, then you'd have known that I would have shared our first family vacation vlog. Now, we traveled down to Negril, and so I thought that for this Mama Mondays, I want to do tips for traveling on the road with a newborn. But if you are new here, please just take a second right now to click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that you're aware every single time that I post. When we decided to go down to Negril, Mike at the time was 4 months old, or he was about to be 4 months old. And so in our head, we were just like, yeah, it's a 5-hour journey, but we can do this. How hard could it be? Whoo, big mistake. So my first tip to persons who want to travel with a young baby is don't do it. In terms of don't decide to take a long journey, especially the first journey. Don't take a long journey with a newborn. Reason being is that they're not used to being confined or in one space for such a long period of time. I know people will say, oh, but it can't be that bad. It really is. They struggle. I would recommend that if you're going to be traveling with a young child anywhere under 4 months, I would suggest you keep that drive to the max, an hour and a half. Maybe you can stretch it to 2, but don't go past the 2-hour mark. What I found with Mike was that literally he would go to sleep and wake up and he'd be like, why am I still in the car seat? And he would be so upset about the fact that he was still in his car seat. Remember, most times up until this point, the child would not have been in that car seat for more than say 30 minutes when you're driving wherever you're going to, between home or wherever you plan to go. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of just like all of a sudden they're thrown into this thing where they're in this car seat for a prolonged period of time. It's gonna cause a problem. My next tip is gonna be that if it is that you decide that you still need to take that long road trip, plan ahead and allot time for stops. And when I say stops, I don't mean a 10-minute stop, a 15-minute stop. I'm talking a stop like half hour, an hour, just to give the child a break from being in the car. It makes a big difference, and I think that had we done that, we probably would have gotten some better results. But of course, that means that you have to leave out early in order to allow the time to make the stops. I recommend that if you can, stop every hour to hour and a half, or once the child wakes up from a sleep, make a decision to stop, give them a break from being in the car, walk up and down a little bit, and then get back in. Next, I want to recommend that you pack toys. I had probably 3 toys. One was a book, so I wouldn't really call it a toy, and Mike was not engaged. He was just like, yo, what we doing? Why am I here? It was, oh my goodness. Make sure that you pack enough interactive toys. Probably also try and pack one that the baby would not have seen before. Why? This adds to the newness, so it means that of course they're more interested in it. And also, if you are okay with the child doing screen time, do some screen time. Let them watch their favorite shows so that they can be distracted for a little bit. Remember, you're trying as best as possible to make the child comfortable. You're trying to keep them distracted from the fact that they're sitting in one place for too long. Okay, so you've done the road trip now. What do you do when you're actually there? When you've reached your destination, you're no longer at your home. How do you manage your newborn? Because remember, routines are so important to newborns. So when you break that routine, most times it causes an issue with the baby. I recommend that you carry a playpen. Now, I know that for some persons, they sleep in the bed with the child, so that's different. But if, like us, your child does not sleep in the bed with you but has always slept in the crib, carrying the playpen was a huge hit for us. It allowed for an easy setup of an area that was his. He could go to sleep. We allowed it to maintain his own personal sleep environment. It didn't shift up things. And so it allowed that he really and truly got good night rest every night. We didn't disrupt it at all. And the great thing about a playpen is that it's so easy to just pack and go. Like literally you just pull it up, put it in the bag, let's go. Made it so easy for bedtime. Another tip that I would say is think ahead for dinner time. Now, most newborns are going to bed anywhere between 6:30 and 8. And of course, that is prime dinner time for the adults. So what do? We were kind of like, oh, what do we do? We're hungry, but he needs to sleep. And so dinner time ended up being either rushed or unplanned. I highly recommend you think ahead what you're going to do for dinner and you plan to get it before putting the child down to sleep. The reason why I say before is that anything can happen. Anything can happen where the child is having a bad night, the child isn't going to sleep easily, and you don't want that you've put the child down and then everywhere is closed or you've missed dinner. So it's best if you get dinner. If your hotel offers room service, get the room service. But if they don't, get the dinner ahead of time, carry it up to your room so you have it there ready to eat when it's time. A next tip is that if you are a breastfeeding mama, make sure that your hotel room has a mini fridge. It is so vital. I would pump and be able to store milk for Mai so that when he woke up, if needs be, I didn't have to worry about him not having milk. It also ensured that I didn't stop my pumping schedule because that is so vital. I didn't want to pump and then have to waste the milk. So at least knowing that there's a mini fridge where the stuff could be cool or frozen, it really and truly helped ease my mind. And next tip that I would have is to ensure that when you are leaving to go home, you leave early. Now I know we all like to enjoy the hotel or wherever we're staying for the very length of the time until the last moment, but with a newborn it's so important that you try and get most of the journey out of the way early in the morning, so that by the time you get home there's still time to relax and ease back into bedtime for the baby. It really helps to just allow them to calmly enter back into home life. And my very last tip for if you are traveling with a newborn is please don't pack your schedule. The thing is, newborns take up so much time, and so a lot of things that you normally would have been able to do are now being scheduled around nap time or around feeding time. And unfortunately, if you plan too much, you're gonna feel like you're rushing trying to do stuff and then not enjoy it. I highly recommend you let it be low-key. You basically plan to do nothing, just kind of have it be very lengthy periods or whatever you're planning, so that if the baby wants to go to sleep, it's not a problem for the baby to go to sleep. If the baby doesn't want to wake up yet, it's not a problem because you're in no rush. Take your time and savor the vacation. It makes such a big difference when you don't pack up the schedule and you're able to spend an hour in the pool, and if the kid wants to nap after, no problem, because you have nowhere else to go. It allows you to rest, it allows the baby to rest, and I guarantee you a happy baby is gonna mean that you have a great vacation. So that's it for my tips on traveling with a newborn on the road. If it is that you like this video or think that this video would help someone else who's about to take a trip with a newborn, please just pass it on to them, give it a thumbs up, sharing, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks so much for making it Naturally Paige, guys, and for tuning in for another Mama Mondays.